Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at zero-based budgeting. Now, overall, this budgeting method encourages you to spend every single penny that you have of income. Now, wait a minute. I know you're asking yourself, what do you mean spending every single penny? Zero-based budgeting means that you start with X amount of dollars and you go down to zero. Fundamentally, that is what you want to get. Now, that does not mean going crazy with shopping sprees, going out to eat all the time because you have some extra money. It gives every cent a purpose, which is really what I feel a lot of people are missing. When it comes to money, money itself is a tool to get the things that you need. A lot of people do not see it as a tool. A lot of people see it as a means to get things well outside of their budget, which is where we get in trouble with credit card debt, where we get in trouble with lending, where we get all of those things. Now, zero-based budgeting is a method that allocates all of your money to your needs and wants, as well as short-term and long-term savings, and also a plan for debt repayment. The goal is that minus your income, your expenditures equals zero by the end of the month. So again, what could this look like? Where if you're paying for rent, groceries, eating out, bills, insurance, everything of that nature, when it comes to what you have left, that is going to be the allocation. So as your monthly expenses kind of vary, where most people's monthly income is pretty stationary, but the expenses can vary greatly with heating. Things like clothing, you're not going to be spending X amount of dollars every month on clothing. But again, the difference between the zero-based budgeting and living paycheck to paycheck is all of the financial goals are met. Now, whether that means putting a little bit into savings or putting a lot more into savings, this is where you can really take accountability to the budget and figure out exactly what works for you. It also gives you the ability to really break down the category spending, seeing exactly where you can save money, because essentially you have a full allocation to every penny that you earn. So if you look at the budget and let's say your investing aspect has $100 left over, how could you possibly take something out of another budget, something out of another expense, getting possibly something that is much cheaper for the exact same product or service? How can you eliminate things from your life to pad or increase other places in your budget? Now, again, this is the method that I use. So what I do is going through systematically, I keep almost nothing outside of my emergency fund. The emergency fund stays into place, and every penny that I have extra goes into an investment account, which is a way to really grow up that retirement account. Once your credit cards are paid off, once your student loans are paid off, once you're working on paying off your mortgage. And again, I have a sticky note that says, stick to the budget, stick to the plan, because again, the fundamentals of budgeting itself, regardless of the methodology behind the budgeting, makes a really big difference when it comes to planning. So if you're looking to pay off, let's say, a credit card within the next 6 months, 12 months, whatever it may be, if you're saving for a big vacation, you can allocate the buckets differently on a month-to-month basis to essentially accommodate your goal. So that might be, again, eliminating some of your expenses. It might be even cutting back your investment strategy just a little bit to accumulate enough funds to be able to afford what you're looking to do, going on vacation, again, things of that nature, versus borrowing money to pay for those items. Makes a big difference, guys, fundamentally, when you start saving money versus spending money and then just paying an exorbitant amount of time to repay that money. And then on top of that, you pay interest on what you borrowed. Now, some of the things to really start this zero-based budget, number one, knowing your income. It is really good to get it down on paper, guys. So get a couple of your pay stubs, see exactly where you're going to, where it's going to land, see how your income, if it does vary, if you have incentive plans, if you're, fully incentivized, things of that nature, know exactly how much you're going to have on a month-to-month basis, and then also tracking your expenses. The best way to do this, guys, is if you're utilizing a debit card or credit card, pull again those monthly expenses, because the budget doesn't lie and the paper doesn't lie, guys. If you're saying, oh, I went to Starbucks once or twice, you look at your budget, you spent $50 at Starbucks, possibility as it wasn't once or twice. The realization of where you're spending your money is where you're spending your money in relationship to where you want your goals to be. Are they aligned? That again, it goes back to some of the personal responsibility of taking a hard look and seeing things that you can cut in your life, to align with your goals, or if everything is aligned with your goals, that is absolutely perfect. Looking for places that you can cut back in spending, seeing again where you can get things cheaper, and also categorizing the expenses. Now, this is the big one, guys: needs and wants. What is really a need? What is really a want? Building up that emergency fund, making sure the emergency fund, of course, number one, is fully funded, and then looking at your goals, looking at debt repayment, seeing exactly what you can do to kind of cut down on some of those expenses. Now, I know a lot of people use the 50-30-20 rule. That is one that we've covered in a video. If you go to our budgeting section, I've covered that before, which it's good, but I do like the zero-based budgeting. It seems to work very well with me and my situation. Now let's look at some of the pros and cons for it. Pros, of course, you're very aware of how much money comes in, how much money comes out. Now, this again is a place where I feel like a lot of people are missing, not only just the budgeting aspect, but a lot of people cannot tell you exactly how much they make in income and how much goes out, exactly where it goes. If you haven't tracked your money or where it's going, you don't have control of your money. You don't have control of the spending. This is a really good way, especially early, just because you're going to know exactly where every penny is allocated to, and also looking at where you can really cut your budget. Now, this, of course, completely customizable depending on what you're looking to do and the methodology behind it. So again, if you're planning a, let's say college expenses in a couple years, you can actually set aside or allocate more funds into one bucket versus another bucket, ensuring that you're going to have enough. Now, some of the cons with this, it does take a little bit of time to get set up. Once you have it set up, it is very easy to do. And also the methodology, something that you're learning, something that is new, is going to take a little bit of time. It is going to have a learning curve. But this really teaches you, one, the accountability, and two, you can closely and consistently monitor your spending. Might be a point where you're not going out and you're buying, as expensive dinners, or you're not spending, stopping to get a coffee, things of that nature. There are a lot of variable expenses that will come up during this budgeting process. Again, that you want to kind of budget in. Holiday purchases, traveling out of town, unexpected expenses. That is the reason we have some of those. The emergency fund is really the unexpected events, but everything that you can plan for with this budgeting system. All right, guys, so now that we know what the budgeting system is about, I'm going to actually leave a link down below to NerdWallet. I use this site, NerdWallet. There's a couple that I utilize for a lot of information that we get. Check out the zero-based budgeting. Just go ahead and Google the zero-based budgeting system on NerdWallet. It is really, really cool with a lot of different budgeting methods. Big thing is, guys, making sure that you're budgeting. Again, there are a lot of different methodologies between budgeting, between a bunch of different things, even looking at things like Dave Ramsey's approach, which I think is a little bit outdated, but fundamentally, guys, it is the budgeting aspect that is going to get you to meet and exceed your financial goals. Start tracking your budget. Do it on paper, do it on pencil. It does mean a lot, and it is kind of an old school methodology, again, that if you're writing it down on paper, you'll see fundamentally it takes a lot more time, it takes a lot more investment than literally just typing it into a spreadsheet. And with that being said, guys, you know exactly what it is, because your mind will actually remember writing it down, or the visualization of how much you spend on things that don't allow to align to your financial goals. All right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about zero-based budgeting after you check it out. And as always, thank you guys for watching.